This episode of the podcast is sponsored by 101 CBD. Raw CBD is oil that still has that delicate, highly beneficial acid molecule still attached to it. That's why it's also known as CBDA. You see, most of the time when hemp is processed for that CBD oil, that oil gets heated up, and that heat burns away and destroys that acid molecule. This process is called decarboxylation, and this is how CBDA gets converted into CBD. And that's a shame because CBDA, or raw CBD, works better on nausea and inflammation than regular CBD. And that raw CBD is what you get in every product from 101 CBD. And since the oil is derived from hemp, it can be shipped worldwide without a problem. So go over to 101cbd.org and take a look at their products. Then pick up some CBD for you and your pet. And don't forget at checkout to use coupon code IMGS25 to get 25% off of that order. Now I want to say a word about Uncle John's Farms Genetics because they are the makers of the ever so famous Manhattan Piff and the Blueberry Donut. Now to get more information about these strains and others, go over to Instagram and look for @Lorax315 for more details. Now as always, it doesn't matter if you're a big-time cultivator or a small-time home grower. You can save time and money when you use the plant DNA sex testing kit from Delta Leaf Labs. You see, they make it really easy for you to take a sample from your plant. Then you send that sample into the lab, and a couple of days after they get it, you're going to know exactly what you've got to work with, whether that's a male or a female plant. Now, backed by popular demand, for a limited time, they do have free testing kits. So go over to deltaleaflabs.com for more details, and please don't forget to use coupon code IMGS10 to get 10% off of that order. And one last time, just as a reminder, next Saturday, November 9th, at the Ventura County Fairgrounds in Ventura, California, that's where we'll be having the CBD Health and Wellness Expo. And that's going to be a perfect time and place for you to test different CBD products and talk to the makers of those products. And when you're down there, don't forget to come by and say hello to the In My Grow Show podcast. Once again, that is Saturday, November 9th at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. All right, now let's get started. Well, hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is the In My Grow Show, the podcast dedicated to taking the mystery out of cannabis. I'm your host, Alex, and I hope everybody had a safe Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. This year's Halloween was a little heartbreaking for me. It's the first year that my daughter really didn't want me to come along with her. She's, a teenager now, and she was like, no, I want to go with my friends. Which was cool in most respects, but in small little, hey, I'm used to, going with my girl to go trick-or-treating. Yeah, a little bit of the heart broke, but you know what? I got over it pretty quick. Had some Kit Kats, and I was good. Yeah, trip out. It's already November 2019. That means in no time at all, mi familia, it's going to be 2020. That's a trip, huh? Living in the future. But I'm still waiting for flying cars, though. Yep, flying cars. I say we just skip past self-driving cars and just go to flying cars. Come on, it'll be fun. It will be. All those teenagers and flying cars. It's going to be so great. Anyways, let's see. What else? What else did I do this week? I picked up a new piece of glass. It was made by GRAV, and it's called the Sherlock. I got it in an emerald green. I like it. It's nice. Hits really good. The bowl's not too big. You know how sometimes when you get glass and the bowl's too big, and then when you hit it really hard, all that ash, you just suck it all in, especially if it's the last hit of that bowl. And it sucks, man. You get all that. It's either still on fire and in your mouth, or it's just all ash and you're just spitting it out. But anyways, that doesn't happen with this piece of glass. It's totally cool. I like it. Like I said, it's the Sherlock from GRAV. Now, next week is the CBD Expo. That is next Saturday. And I think I have everything I need for that. I'm going to have 3 or 4 conversations lined up. I've got Justin from 101 CBD is going to talk a little bit to me. So is Dr. Eileen Gillen, the veterinarian. We're going to talk about just basic health care. I don't know if we're really going to do a lot of CBD talking health. Maybe, but mostly it's just about basic health, basic pet care. I've also kind of recruited Myra from Sana Gente, and we're going to have a conversation about the cannabinoids, THC and CBD, but we're going to have that conversation in Spanish. Who else? I'm missing somebody. And I'm hoping that Ron Whitehausen from Rincon Vitova comes by, because I'll kind of grab him and stick him on the mic and talk to him about, natural predators for our gardens. That'd be a cool thing. So I hope Ron's coming. Yeah, that's basically what I've got planned for the day. I haven't really recruited anybody to help me at the booth. And I think I should. I don't know how I'm going to pull that off because I'd like to both do audio and video. But like I said, I haven't really asked anyone to help me. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see if I actually find somebody. Who knows? But I'm excited. It's going to be cool. As I've said before, never done anything like this before, especially for the podcast at like an event like this. So we'll see if it's something that I want the show to keep doing or if it's the first and last time I ever do something like this. All right. Let's move on to the strain of the week. Ooh, and today we've got a double header. We're going to start off with the Surf's Up OG from Fun Uncle. Now, the Surf's Up does have this pungent, lemony, and like fresh forest pine and pepper smell to it, this aroma, which really goes together well. And it comes in at a whopping 24% THC. Ooh, man, and you feel it too. Man, oh man, do you feel it. Because I felt high, euphoric, uplifted, and energetic. All of those things put together. And that's how this flower made me feel, which is surprising because it is an OG. OGs are typically kind of like heavy indica strains, but this one, while it was really, like I said, it's a high THC. It made me feel really high. It didn't really make me come down and want to nap. It just really did keep me focused, which was great for what I have to do. Because sometimes when I get flower that is that high in THC, I get really easily distracted. You know, I can get on the internet and just go down several rabbit holes and just waste a bunch of time. That really didn't happen with this Surf's Up OG. It just kept me on task. So it was awesome for that. And one of the big reasons why I like Fun Uncle, the brand, is because everything comes in this little Ziploc bag. You know, this little plastic bag, which is great. I hope, or I would wish that the plastic was like a hemp-derived plastic so it's biodegradable, but I don't know if it is. But I like the plastic bag better than getting a jar every time I get an eighth from the cannabis shop. Because that's a lot of times when you get product, that's what it comes in, is in this jar. And then you have like this army of empty jars all over your house. It just seems like a waste. So that's another reason why I like the Fun Uncle. And the other strain I want to talk about today is the Afgooey. Oh my goodness, the Afgooey. That is a cross between the Afghani and a Maui Haze. And this did have like a wet pine cone smell and taste to it. Kind of like after it rains in the forest. A little bit like that. And again, the Afgooey is an indica heavy strain. She does come in being, again, 23% THC. Which was great because since it is an indica, it was really good for sleep. And it seems like, for me anyways, I'm hoping to have the Afgooey on hand for a migraine because it seems like it was so good for pain, at least for relaxation, that I think it would do really well for my migraines. So hopefully next time I have a migraine, I've still got the Afgooey on hand. We shall see. And this flower was put together again by Henry's Original, and they always do good work over at Henry's. I picked up both of those heavy hitter flowers at Sespe Creek Collective in Ojai. You can find them at 408 Bryant Circle, Sweet Sea. They want you to know that on Wednesday, November 6th, from 3 to 6:30 p.m., they're going to have a free terpene oxygen bar. That sounds like it's really awesome. I'm going to do my best to go because I usually hit town about 4 o'clock. I'm hoping I can get home, shower, get out the door just to go test the terpene oxygen bar. Yeah, I'm sure I can do that. Unless something bizarre happens, more than likely they're going to see me there at the oxygen bar before 6:30. Okay, now let's move on to my social media. And I want to talk a little bit about this headline that I read, and I got this off Gizmodo. And it reads, the latest iffy wellness trend is CBD-infused workout gear. And this was put together by Ed Cara. So apparently there is a women's clothing company that's called Acabada Active. And they've put out a CBD-infused line of luxury pro activewear for women. How does that work exactly? Well, apparently it says here in the literature that there are up to 25 grams of CBD are packaged in each Acabada piece, thanks to the microcapsulation technology that traps CBD droplets in tiny containers. When wearers exercise and rub up against the clothing, the microcapsules break open and periodically dose their skin with CBD. As for longevity, the CBD supply is supposed to last about 40 high-intensity work and wash cycles, after which the person will still have a durable piece of gym clothing. Okay, I have a bunch of questions there. So, first of all, come on. That sounds a lot like bullshit. How do you measure that it still has CBD in it even after the first wash? You know, it says about 40 washes and wears. So let's say we take the clothes at about, wear and wash 30 and test it. Is it still going to have some CBD? I don't know. I just want to see the technology. I want to see the science. That's all. I want to see the science. Because it just sounds a little too far-fetched. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but how good does it work? How long does it work? That's my question. And the literature for this product also says that it's not really made for people who are on the fence about CBD, who aren't sure. It's mostly made towards those people who really believe in CBD, who are already basically converts to this CBD religion. That's who it's made for. People they don't have to convince. That's what it is. They don't want to have to convince people. They're just putting it out there for people who are already convinced. This is for you. This is what you need. Good on them. It sounds like a great marketing tool. Me personally, I'm like, come on, man, you got to stop. Why don't you just take some CBD beforehand? Or, put some body balm on you. There's more, I don't know, it seems like there's more actual science that it's working than CBD-infused clothes. Anyways, I don't know. There's a link in the show notes so you can read the article and come to your own conclusions. Let me know what you think. Find me on Instagram at InMyGrow. Now, the other thing I want to talk about in my social media is something very local, and that is the second annual Ojai Herbal Symposium, The Wisdom of the Body, which is happening November 16th through the 17th, 2019 at Crotona Hall. Now, a big reason why I bring this up is because I noticed that my buddy and a very good friend of the show, Dr. Jake Felice, is going to be one of the speakers there. I love talking to that guy. He's so awesome. If you've never heard him speak on the show, go to the website, inmygrow.com. Click on the tab on top that says The Doctors, and a whole list of conversations that I've had with doctors are going to come up. And the 2 or 3 that I've had with Dr. Felice are up there. Go ahead and take a listen to him. It's got a lot of great information about different disease systems and cannabis use. So if you're going to be in the 805 area, come up to Ojai November 16th and 17th for the second annual Ojai Herbal Symposium, and you may get a chance to listen to Dr. Jake Felice speak. All right, now let's get to the report from the Cannabis Frontline. The first thing I want to talk about is something that I read over at The Lancet. The title of the article is called Cannabinoids for the Treatment of Mental Disorders and Symptoms of Mental Disorders. A systematic review and a meta-analysis. It starts off medicinal cannabinoids, including medical cannabis and pharmaceutical cannabinoids and their synthesized derivatives, such as THC and CBD, have been suggested to have a therapeutic role in certain mental disorders. We analyzed the available evidence to ascertain the effectiveness and safety of all types of medical cannabinoids in treating symptoms of various mental disorders. And the article lists a whole bunch of different ways and mental diseases that they tested for cannabis. Not so much that they tested, but that they reviewed the articles that were written about using cannabis as a treatment for different mental conditions. Is basically what they did. And what they found was this. This is what it says. There is scarce evidence to suggest that cannabinoids improve depressive disorders and symptoms, anxiety disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, Tourette's syndromes, post-traumatic stress disorder, or psychosis. There is very low-quality evidence that pharmaceutical THC with or without CBD leads to a small improvement in symptoms of anxiety among individuals with other medical conditions. There remains sufficient evidence to provide guidance on the use of cannabinoids for treating mental disorders without a regulatory framework. Further, high-quality studies directly examining the effects of cannabinoids on treating mental disorders are needed. So basically what it says is that according to the limited information or the limited studies that are being done or have been done, it's really not showing that cannabinoid use helps mental disorders as dramatically as anecdotal evidence might suggest. Telling us once again that more human studies are needed. Because a lot of these studies are done on animals, and there's no way to really tell that depression in animals is the same as depression or anxiety or, post-traumatic stress disorder, that they're the same in animals as they are in humans. But once again, the link's from the show notes, so you can come to your own conclusions about it. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is a headline that I read over at BuzzFeed, and it's titled, Juul shipped at least 1 million contaminated pods, new lawsuit says. This was put together by Stephanie M. Lee. And basically what it says is that an executive got fired from Juul. This guy's name is Siddharth Breja. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Apparently he was some kind of executive, and he found out that Juul had shipped out contaminated pods. Well, okay, I don't know if contaminated is really the right word for it. I mean, I guess they are, right? Because according to the article, it's not so much that they were contaminated, but that they were past their, freshness date. So that's the problem this guy had with it. He was fired from Juul because he kept bringing it up and making a stink about it. And he's claiming in the lawsuit that the CEO of Juul, Kevin Burns, said that half our customers are drunk and vaping like mofos. Who the fuck is going to notice the quality of our pods? That's what this guy is claiming that the CEO said to him when he brought up the issue of sending out old nicotine pods for people to buy. Now, this has nothing to do really with cannabis, but it does kind of throw in this extra wrinkle in the conversation about the safety behind not just e-cigarettes but cannabis cartridges, and what could really be causing people to get this lung disease that's being linked to vaping. But once again, it also does highlight that the industry really doesn't care about our health. So again, the advice out there is be your own advocate. And that, brothers and sisters, is the report from the Cannabis Frontline. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about hemp oil. And the reason for this is because that word has become really tricky lately. You know, about 5 or 10 years ago, if you were having a conversation or if you even asked somebody about hemp oil, they knew you were talking about hemp seed oil. But now, because, hemp-derived CBD is so popular, a lot of advertising is just using the word hemp oil to describe both hemp seed oil and, hemp-derived CBD oil. And it's super confusing out there. So I put together a couple of notes just to help us understand the real difference of what hemp oil is, what hemp seed oil is, and what hemp-derived CBD oil is. And I plan on making these notes available on the website at inmygrow.com later on this week. I haven't really tightened it all up, but I will, and as soon as I do, I'll throw them up there and I'll let you know about it. If you search on the internet for hemp oil, you're either going to get hemp seed oil or full spectrum CBD oil. It's going to run the gambit. Now, the best way you can tell what you're getting is by looking at the label. Because hemp seed oil is going to say either just that, hemp seed oil, or it's going to be called cannabis sativa seed oil, or just cannabis seed oil. All of those things, that is basically hemp seed oil. Okay? Now, hemp seed oil is not the same as CBD oil. Hemp seed oil is made by pressing the hemp seeds to get out the oil. Basically the way we get, coconut oil or olive oil. We just mash it until the oil is excreted, and that's how we get it. It's the same process with hemp seed oil, okay? And the reason it's not the same as CBD oil is because hemp seeds do not have cannabinoids. If they do, they have trace amounts of cannabinoids, of CBD and THC. They don't have enough even to show up on a drug screening. Okay, so if you're one of those people who are trying to tell somebody else that you came up dirty on a drug test because you take hemp seed oil, it's bullshit and you know it, because hemp seed oil does not have any cannabinoids in it. Okay, now, if you're looking for hemp CBD oil, same thing, you've got to check the label. Hemp CBD oil is usually going to say just that, CBD oil or cannabidiol, or it's going to say full spectrum hemp or full spectrum CBD. Some of them even say PCR, which is phytocannabinoid rich. Okay, phytocannabinoids are just cannabinoids made from plants. Okay, that's all it is. Or it could also say PCR hemp extracts, which is phytocannabinoid rich hemp extracts. Those are the things you want to look for if the label is confusing and just says hemp oil. Now, hemp seed oil and CBD oil are very beneficial to the body and to our well-being and, homeostasis, but in different ways. Okay, now, hemp CBD oil, it is not extracted from any of the seeds. We get that oil from using the stalks, flowers, and the leaves of the hemp plant. Okay, that's where a majority of those really good cannabinoids live, is in the hemp plant. There aren't any, like I said, there are just trace amounts of those cannabinoids and seeds. We don't need those seeds if we're looking for CBD oil. All of that comes from the actual plant material. The CBD is going to be living in that hemp plant material. And also to clarify, hemp and cannabis are not the same plant. Okay, they're the same species of plants, but they're both very different varieties of that plant. The biggest difference is that hemp is very high in the cannabinoid CBD, cannabidiol, and that CBD is a non-intoxicating. Now, while hemp is very high in CBD, it is very low in THC. And THC is that cannabinoid that can make you feel intoxicated. And that's the big difference between hemp and cannabis. And right now we know that CBD oil is going to help regulate the body's functions of sleep, mood, pain, appetite, hormone, and immune response. It's also been shown to affect dopamine and serotonin receptors. Dopamine regulates parts of our cognition and behavior, while serotonin helps, regulate mood conditions such as anxiety. Now I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of hemp seed oil. Now, first of all, nutritionally, hemp seeds have over 30% of fat and are really rich in essential fatty acids like omega-3s and omega-6s. Hemp seeds are also a great source of protein because more than 25% of their total calories comes from high-quality protein. Now, hemp seeds are also a great source of polyunsaturated and essential fatty acids, and they have a 3-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3s, which is considered to be the optimum level. The oil has also been found to help such skin conditions as eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis, just to name a few. And another thing I found is that hemp seed oil could help reduce symptoms of PMS and menopause. Gamma-linolenic acid, or GLA, found in hemp seeds produce prostaglandin E1, which reduces the effects of prolactin. In a study on women with PMS taking 1 gram of essential fatty acids, including 210 milligrams of GLA per day, resulted in a significant decrease in symptoms. It also helped decrease breast pain and tenderness, depression, irritability, fluid retention that has often been associated with PMS. It has also been suggested that because hemp seeds are high in GLA, that they may help reduce symptoms of menopause as well. And there will be a couple of links to these studies just to help us understand it a little bit better. Alright, let's go on to brain health. The oil is also full of compounds like polyphenols, which was found to help protect the brain against inflammation in mice studies. Although the results looked promising, scientists need more human studies to confirm the benefits of hemp seed oil on the human brain. As always, more human studies, man. And finally, how does hemp seed oil and CBD help acne? In a study submitted to the Journal of Clinical Investigations, it found that hemp seed oil and CBD may affect the sebum glands in people with chronic acne, which leads to reduced sebum production and potentially helping to clear or prevent acne breakouts. So there you go, folks. If you have teenagers at home with bad acne, let's start getting a little bit of hemp seed oil in their diet, man. That sounds like a great idea. I'm going to start doing that to my kid. Not that she has bad acne, but man, teenagers always worry about that. Even the smallest bit of acne, it'll just, ruin their whole day. But anyways, those are my notes of hemp oil. If you have any questions or comments about this, you let me know. You can send me an email that is inmygrow@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram @inmygrow, or you can find me on Cannabis @AlexRobles. As I said earlier, I haven't put these notes up on the website yet. I'm going to just tighten them up a little, and then I'll go ahead and release the notes on the website, and I will let you know when that happens. Well, brothers and sisters, mis amigos, my friends, those are all the notes I have for you today, which means that's all I have to share with you, and that's an episode of the show. That's it. I want to thank you again for taking the time to listen to me, and I want to thank all of the artists who let me use their music to put the show together, because I couldn't do it without you. And as always, if this episode has entertained you, educated you, or even given you a little escape from your day, do me a favor. Head over to patreon.com/inmygrow and leave a financial donation. Now, those funds just help me pay for certain hosting fees, help me buy equipment, and it just makes it easier to put the show together. Now, if you don't want to leave a donation over at Patreon, you can go over to inmygrow.com, click on the Support the Show tab, and buy a t-shirt there. Or before you go shopping at Amazon, click on the Amazon link in the top of the show notes of this episode, because that lets them know that we sent you and we get a commission. As always, if you can't support the show financially, don't worry about it. I get it. But here's how you can help. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening. Subscribe to the website inmygrow.com. And on YouTube, go ahead and search In My Grow Show with Alex. And then when the channel comes up, hit subscribe. And as I said earlier, if you haven't yet, I need you to go over there and subscribe because I am trying to get a specific URL for the show. And I need more subscribers in order to do that. So do the show a favor, go over there and subscribe on YouTube. And after you've done all that subscribing, do one more thing. Tell 3 other people about the show. Really simple, really easy. And once again, if you are a cannabis company that wants to advertise to our worldwide audience, just send me an email. That is inmygrow@gmail.com. Well, buddy, like I said, that's it, man. I'm going to get on out of here. You know I love you all very much. And remember to always grow, learn, and teach.